Self-proclaimed underachiever Bart Simpson dead at the age of 10.
When Bart goes into the woods to take a piss, he ends up lost in a dark place full of dangers. All of Springfield searches for him without any success until all hope is gone and he is declared dead.
It's over. We're calling off the search.
Did they find him?
No, he's dead.
We start with a Christmas intro. We see Bart being punished for saying that snow angels are frozen hobos, Homer making candy canes, Maggie wrapped like a present, and Otto smokes a candy cane. Is there something this man doesn't smoke? Everyone in Springfield is using sleighs. They even did a brief tribute to Tom Petty, who appears as an angle playing the guitar. In the end, the family gathers on the couch in front of the TV, but turns into popcorn, eventually becoming a Christmas tree ornament. Very awesome intro. The episode begins with prisoners from Springfield Penitentiary cleaning a street after a long day of work they have finished, when suddenly a car passes by, throwing out all the trash they had just collected. Inside the car is the Simpson family, not a surprise, who rented a van for their Christmas trip, which is filthy inside because even Lisa feels a little dizzy, but if she wants, she can vomit inside since, well, it's a rental, and they didn't take any care of it.
Save the dog? It's a rental.
When they return the van, the employee tells Homer that he is Santa since he brought it back with 3/4 of a tank, even though he took it with half a tank. Annoyed at being called Santa, Homer drives off to burn that extra quarter tank. Driving at full speed, towing heavy things, and even playing with his son, after doing various things, Bart asks his father to stop at the forest because he needs to empty his own tank. He can do it in the car, since it's rented. Wow, Homer, that's honestly crossing the line. Homer wants to go with him.
Dad, come on, I'm 10 years old. I can pee by myself. It's easy. You just shake it when you're through.
You do what now?
The thing is, he goes to do it in front of a group of artists who are about to draw him, so he goes deeper into the forest. Once there, Bart sees a sign on the ground that says, "Do not jump on." So of course, mischievous Bart jumps on it, making the cover fall, and he ends up at the bottom of a well. Homer looks for Bart in the forest, but can't find him, and nearly gets shot in the process. They don't know what kind of creature is it.
I don't know, but I can't shoot it. Looks like it's pregnant.
Without success in his search, he arrives with the family. He is about to tell them the tragic news. He must do it delicately.
You know that sewing room you wanted, but we could never figure out where?
Ah, Homer as always, highlighting the best of the worst situations. What a great father. We see that the family called the police, who searched the forest for Bart, but it's Chief Wiggum. He knows how to console distraught parents.
Ma'am, can you describe your son's skeleton?
But don't worry, they have a grid to help in the search. Everything Wiggum does goes horribly wrong, even the ambulance catches fire, and Marge is obviously worried. Bart wakes up and finds himself in what seems to be a secret military base. There, he watches a video of a general explaining that there's a missile stored there, and it only should be watched in a crisis situation. Behind, there is the missile. With it, the missile is designed to minimize damage. The causalities could be reduced to an acceptable 200 million.
Dud. Ay, caramba!
Meanwhile, the search for Bart in the forest continues with no success. We see the prisoners from Springfield Penitentiary, including Sideshow Bob, who, as we know from previous episodes, hates Bart and plans to take advantage of this situation to harm him. But he says he has never seen him, but his tattoo gives him away. Back to Bart, he explores the base, makes a ramp, resting it on a box of grenades to be able to escape. He is about to obtain the freedom until the steps fail, and he falls again. Bart starts using items from the base to create a makeshift family, taking out his frustration on the soldier Homer.
Not my homie. Avert your eyes, ma'am.
With the slap, he notices there's a phone that miraculously gives tone. After confirming it works, he calls Moe's Bart to prank him.
Just a sec, I'll check. Test T calls.
The thing is, the cable burns out. It definitely wasn't the smartest decision to use his only phone call to prank Moe, but it was worth it. Meanwhile, Milhouse and Nelson are also looking for Bart. Nelson leaves, and Milhouse continues alone, because looking for him forever is easier than getting a new friend, eventually discovering Bart in the base. Bart asks for Milhouse's phone, but it shatters when it hits the ground, just like Milhouse's glasses. Wow, what an idiot. Back at the Simpson home, Marge lights candles for Bart when the news announces that with the 78% of the area examined, Bart has been declared dead at 10 years old, leaving Marge devastated.
Now let's look at the districts where he's deadest.
Milhouse shows up at the door and tells Lisa he has news about Bart, but Lisa hugs him, thinking he's referring to Bart's death. Milhouse, enjoying the moment in Lisa's arms, decides to keep quiet. You sneaky little guy. At the penitentiary, the prisoners are told the search is over since Bart has been declared dead. This cheers everyone up except for Bob, who regrets not being the one to kill Bart. This makes him ask God to take him.
Take me now, vile rake!
Bob, in a therapy session, tries to let go of his hatred for Bart, and now he is free.
You're totally free.
The psychologist suggests he cut out a picture of Bart with scissors as a way to release his anger. But, of course, Bob cuts up more than just the picture. He takes the scissors and escapes. Why am I not surprised? Bart manages to fix the phone and calls his mum, but only asks if she's still married to Homer, which clues Marge in that Bart is alive. Unfortunately, Bart doesn't give her a chance to say anything before the phone catches fire again. Milhouse, having finally left Lisa, is captured by Bob, who recognises him as Bart's friend. After torturing him with opera singing, Milhouse agrees to take Bob to Bart. Marge and Lisa prepare to go find Bart with Ned's snowmobile. As for Homer and Grandpa, they must use another means to move.
I ain't riding in that. No, you're pulling it.
Bart finds a collection of vinyl with some parodies. Milhouse and Bob reach Bart's location. Milhouse warns that once Bob goes down, they won't be able to escape, but Bob doesn't care and throws Milhouse down before jumping in after him. Bart is already tired of eating dried apples. He'd better eat dried pears. When suddenly he is surprised by Sideshow Bob.
Found your hidey hole!
You found my hiney hole?
He threatens to kill Bart, tying him and Milhouse to the missile. Bob struggles to launch the missile because it requires 2 keys, which are far apart. Meanwhile, Homer and Grandpa search the forest. They give Santa's little helper Bart's sock to sniff, hoping he'll lead them to Bart, but the dog takes them to a bar instead. Wow. Marge calls Homer, telling him to return to the forest. He and Grandpa pass close to where Bart is, and since Homer has to listen to the senile talk of Grandpa, he covers his ears and doesn't hear Bart and Milhouse asking for help. Bob manages to launch the missile skillfully with his weird feet, but hesitates when Bart asks why he wants to kill him, which makes him doubt. While Homer finds some large footprints that could be Sideshow Bob's.
Look, it's either Sideshow Bob or Shaq.
After they question his Superman tattoo, he flees the scene. Bob starts to hallucinate, so he calls his therapist for help deciding whether to kill Bart. But the therapist is in the hospital and isn't very helpful. As Homer and Grandpa continue searching, they hear the missile launch.
That sounds like the ignition sequence of an LGM-25C Titan II ballistic missile.
The missile takes off, but surprisingly, Bob saved the kids. Bart and Bob end up hugging, and Bob, feeling remorse, decides not to kill the kids. Bart jokes, asking if there's a knife on his back, and Bob asks if there's a "kick me" sign on his back. Milhouse sees nothing, so the hug again. The missile lands on Springfield's Sculpture Garden, place of pretentious people.
What a brilliant conceptual piece.
6 months later, Bob is seen at the penitentiary showing signs of improvement and hope after serving 3 life sentences. The psychologist celebrates his progress. Not all patients succeed. There goes one, and then another one. Many years later, we see Bob living in a lighthouse, still wishing for Bart's death, regretting having wasted his life on stupid revenge. It was really nice to see Bart survived, like the time Bart goes from delinquent to the star basketball player, but things go south when Bart gets involved with the mafia. If you want to see what happens, click on this video next. But before, don't forget to smash those like and subscribe buttons.